Okay, in this video, I want to talk about and show you how to create and work with composite chart, which is another there are two, like I said in my previous synastry video. There are two relationship charts that we can do, that I certainly do and I work with. And I offer relationship readings if you want to check my website. And one is synastry, which is essentially a compatibility chart. It's like how you two interact, where composite chart is completely different, and I find it far more powerful if you're into individuation, shadow work, personal growth, inner work, and also, more importantly, if you are the sort of person that views your relationship as a fantastic opportunity to work on yourself. So these are the composite chart is your trumps all other charts. It's a fantastic tool to learn what your work with another person is. So let me just pull up a chart and I might say a few more words about it. So the same, you log into your astro.com account, there's your name, so that's how you know you're in it, and that's where your charts are. That's why you log into your account, so that you have all that you stored there. And as always, go to free horoscopes, scroll down to extended chart selection. And I mean, for synastry, I would always start with your name and then the person's name. But for composite, it doesn't matter at all. But I'll just get into a habit anyway. And then here is where you choose. So there are various composite, there are three. And this one gives you natals and midpoint method, which is the midpoint method I use. For what I want to show you at this point, I really want to just show you the first one here. This is reference place, don't worry about that. At least that's not what I'm going to be covering anytime soon, because I don't work with that. But yeah, so composite chart, so it's the first on this list. Composite chart, midpoint method, and there's two in brackets, not sure why there is, but never mind. So the first on this list, you click on that, and that's the chart that you want. And the same, leave default here, and then descending node, descending node, and Chiron if you work with Chiron. And actually, I would highly recommend Chiron for synastry, yes, but also composite. Both, in fact, very much so. So for your relationships, you really want to understand Chiron, because those are the most painful issues that you will face with each other. And then, so you clicked on descending node and Chiron, and you're good to go. If you want those ascendants, I mentioned, no, ascendants, go. Asteroids, like Psyche and Eros are good ones for relationships, but I don't, I'm not going to do it now. And then you click the chart, and this is it. So essentially, so you see here, it's your name again first, and then it says composite chart with un. As you know, this is just test dummies. These are birthdays of some real people, I'm sure, somewhere in the world, but I literally just randomly picked those dates, on numbers rather, and made dates and times of them. So that's just for your reference, so you can now quickly check, because you can't see anything here. This is my point. This is why this chart is so amazing. It's essentially a third individual. It's a third entity. This is, and that's how you approach it, like you would your natal chart. But yeah, just to make sure that you got the right people, or can you see here, and then you see it here as well. And this is again just the chart, the chart style, the house system, sorry, plus it is. Okay, so composite chart is, I also call it a karmic chart, a chart of your karma with someone. Work chart is another term I use, teamwork. It's essentially, so the way I like to explain it is like you two as souls, before you incarnated in these bodies, on this planet, in this lifetime, on this timeline, that you met, before you done all that, as souls, because you belong to the same soul group, soul family, or, just go with me. And then you said, okay, if we were to meet and cross paths, this is the work that we are going to be working together on. This is the work we'll be doing together. This is what we need to tackle. This is not what we need to face. This is what we need to work through. If we were to clear our karma, our attachments, because attachments are something we are all, even when we are hell-bent against it, we are essentially on a soul level working away from, or rather to detach ourselves slowly but surely. And we only can do that through attachment. So we attach, we realize that it's actually not really working, and then we learn next time not to attach, but we had to experience the attachment anyway. So my point is, if you meet someone and you don't do the work that this karmic composite chart maps out for you, you will repeat the same lessons, or you will have other relationships will come into your life that these lessons, this work will be required. So my point is, if you can choose to not, you can choose not to work, you can choose not to continue, rather you can choose not to be in the relationship, but the work won't be done, and you might with each other, right? And you might encounter it with another person. I mean, this is not straight cut, like black and white, like, yeah, if you don't, then it will come. Like, it's far more complex and nuanced than that, but it's still worth bearing in mind, just not to be so quick and dismissive as to the about the difficulties and obstacles that a relationship puts in front of you, right? Not to skip it too soon, too quickly. So like I said, this is a chart that says when you two come together, this is the work. So it's almost like I said, a chart of a third entity or an identity. So you approach it as you would your individual chart. And so you look here, this is your composite sun, your composite moon, your composite Mercury. These are the aspects between your composite planets. This, like I say, the same as your natal chart. And then, as you can see, for instance, it's not Exasia trine 19.7, yeah. It's not a grand trine, but there are like good, all the blue lines means like easy flow. All the red ones would be challenges. And so, for instance, I don't know, let's say this is a Pluto in second, or I would read it probably third. In fact, I would read it third, but so I'll speak from that for a moment, but it doesn't matter. Wherever it's Pluto you go, you would, that that's your soul. That's from reading your own chart and from doing it using evolutionary astrology method and language, which is what I do. So presumably that's what you do too. Otherwise you maybe wouldn't be watching my videos. So Pluto is the soul. So here, that's your joint soul. As two souls, this is your soul's evolutionary prerogative, desire. So it's in Libra. So it would be you do desire to be in a relationship, but as with anything with Pluto, you really are wise to start with the darkest expressions there and work towards the lighter versions of that Pluto in Libra, unless you're already very highly evolved individuals. Then definitely this could be you step in, you get together and you're on that high vibrational Pluto in Libra. But if you're anything like me, then no, you would have started at a lower end of this expression. And a great book for relationships is Jeffrey Wolf Green, Pluto, Volume 2, I think it is. It's fantastic. But also, like, you could even just, like I say, read another book of his, or just any book, any study of natal placements, and then just consider them as your joint placement. That's what your relationship is about. So there is such resonance between those two avenues of studying your own chart or your composite chart. They're so easily translatable. So whatever you know about natal placements, you can easily apply them to your composite chart. Not so much to your synastry. I find synastry is far more complex and you need more experience, I suppose, as an astrologer to read them well. But composite is easy. And then you see Chiron is like aspected. This is the most painful thing. So you study Chiron in ninth, you study the Chiron in Aries, Chiron trine Venus. So this is a nice one. Whenever you want these, because what a good aspect with Chiron means, particularly when it's a relationship planet like Venus and it's on your ascendant, which is so important therefore, when it's in a good, flowing, supportive aspect to Chiron, that means the pain, like you find each other healing. You heal each other far more easily. It's like you don't have to, when you step on each other's pain, it doesn't feel like, it doesn't hurt too much. You kind of know that it's just like, it's one of those, oh, sorry, didn't mean to hurt you kind of, moment, and you therefore there's no heaviness, or there's no more to unpack. It's just you can heal each other more easily. Also Moon and Saturn are in good aspect to Chiron, but Uranus isn't, and that is something, and it's in your communication house, third house, right? So you read and study everything on Uranus opposite Chiron. Uranus in Libra, so that's again relationships. So this is Uranus, that's very disruptive, but also liberating and all kinds of other stuff. And as you study, again, your Venus is supporting in a supportive aspect to Uranus. So that's a good help. Venus is big for you with Pluto as well. She rules your Pluto, so Venus. So this is I didn't even know this, obviously, these are complete test dummies for me, but they seem to have a very, very good relationship, very like good work, like relatively easy. I mean, on just first, and then obviously you look at the South Node and the North Node, and this is the fifth house, is always a house of romance and lovers, children, all the kind of important things for a couple, if we are talking about a love relationship here or romantic relationship. And so you just go through chart, like I say, like you would for yourself, for a person, and then just keep bearing in mind that it's for two of you. So what does that say about two of you? And then obviously being that it's a relationship you already have, presumably, then you will be resonating, you will straight away kind of know which avenue to take further, what's the next step in your interpretation to take. And if it's a new relationship, or you even are not with them yet, but you somehow have their birth date, and you've done this as a precaution, then you can use it in the same vein. Okay, so that's Composite. I have nothing else to say on that at this stage. Let me know in the comments if any other topics you'd like me to cover, and see you soon again.